All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read-alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. Welcome back to Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. Today's Behind the Book review is All Through the Night, a book that details the important jobs that are done at nighttime. This is written by Polly Faber and illustrated by Harriet Hobday. All this week, we are talking about financial literacy. How do you raise children that are well-rounded when it comes to money? And how do we raise children that understand how our economy works? And of course, we're using picture books to be able to do so. On this Behind the Book review, we will be going over the glows, what I think was done well, the grows, what I think could have been done differently, who this book is for, how to utilize it as a resource to have more robust conversations with your little, and more, all in this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. If you have not done so, be sure to go check out the Read Aloud first, and then come right back here for this review. You ready? Let's grow. Summary in my own words. All Through the Night is a simple story about the jobs that are worked that are often invisible to majority of people because, well, they're done at night. So it is a simple text that goes through different jobs like construction work or baking or even bus driving, jobs that sometimes might be done in the day, but often so many times people sacrifice their night in order to make that job happen. So overall, I would summarize it as a simple picture book that is used to really show the importance of what many people see as invisible work. Take home message and age group. The take-home message is that there are so many things that are done on our behalf that we don't see. There are janitors who clean when we're sleeping. There are people who secure our streets, like police officers when we're resting, so on and so forth. And they deserve to be acknowledged. So it really is an acknowledgement of those jobs, and honestly around sacrifices that are made on our behalf to make sure that we have the groceries that we need or the safety that we need, and that list continues. I would go young with this story. Given that it is a straightforward text, I would keep it young, maybe 5 to 7 years old or so, because it's just detailing the work, the important work that people do at nighttime. So definitely younger when it comes to this story. Who this book is for. I would say this book would be a really good resource for young children who have a parent or a guardian who kind of disappears at night because they work an overnight job or a graveyard shift because they work late, so on and so forth. I think so often picture books are the safe place for children who have a different life from their friends. And so if you have a child and you work a job at nighttime, I believe that this book would be a good way to show that child that they are not the only one and that your job is not the only job that works at that time of day. Okay? Glows. I would have to say the glow for this book is just the fact that we don't give attention to night jobs. We really don't think about the nurse that is working that 12-hour shift or the bus driver who is picking people up all hours of the night so that they can get home safely. We don't consider that gas station that's open 24/7 and the person who is at that cash register so that we can get the things that we need. And so my glow for this book is the fact that the author is bringing intentional attention to jobs that often we don't notice or give them the respect that they deserve. I also really appreciate the illustrations because they're very layered. I love the different people that are featured throughout the story, the buildings, even some of the animals. Overall, I feel like the pictures and the nighttime scenery helps to bring the words to life. Grows. For me, the book was shorter than I would have wanted. It is such a massive book in terms of size. It's a gorgeous hardcover book, and I was really hoping to have almost more substance. Instead, the book is just very straightforward of the jobs that are worked at nighttime and what those jobs do, and then that's it. So I think overall, my goal would just to add more substance, maybe more excitement or a different perspective. Maybe we get the perspective of the person working at night. Just overall, I feel like the format that was chosen didn't necessarily match the actual story. And so I think that this book would be best utilized as like even a board book or something of that nature. But overall, still very important to bring attention to jobs that, well, don't get seen. I know even as an educator, I'll be feeling like we have invisible jobs. And so really shining light on these people that make these sacrifices is special. The author closes out the book with a child who their mom works at nighttime. They drive the bus. And so I'm not sure if this is a personal experience or not, but it is a way to bring light to those jobs and to those families that, you know, kind of lose a person to their job because of the different schedules. So definitely a topic that is needed. I appreciate the work that was put out. Overall, that would be my grow. Discussion points to have with your child. One of the discussion points you could have is literally like, did you consider any of these jobs? Like, have you ever thought about people who work at nighttime? Why do some people work at nighttime? Like in the book, the author talks about a baker who bakes at night so that the pastries can be fresh in the morning, or a janitor because it's easier to mop the floor when there aren't a bunch of people walking on it. And so just honestly having a discussion around like, have you thought about that? Or how would you feel about working at night? Or is that something you're interested in? I feel like this book is relaxed enough to just have kind of a pause by pause conversation, meaning you could read a few pages and then discuss, but overall honing in on the beauty and the appreciation and the sacrifice that is made being a night worker is an excellent route to go in terms of having a discussion with your child. Final thoughts. All Through the Night is definitely a story that fits our week of financial literacy because there are so many different types of jobs, and many of them we don't even acknowledge or notice. Many of them we just kind of expect the thing to be there and don't realize that somebody put it there. And so this book is really a way to slow down and have the conversation around different types of jobs and even different times a day that those jobs are worked. As always, thank you for growing with me, for learning with me, and for being part of this book-loving community. Be sure to check out the other resources on this playlist for our Financial Literacy Week, as well as my books and our Pay It Forward program. As always, remember to enjoy the moment or go be a joy in the moment. Bye!